Okay, this is my part two today on the planetary alignment that's taking place and that's stretching out over the next 30 days. So, just prior to this day that I'm recording on January 20th, 2016, over the past week, there have been some very significant events that have clued me into the fact that we have actually anchored in this new first wave of ascension, which means we have begun the reversal. If you saw my video or heard my podcast yesterday, I talked a lot about this, so you might want to go back and listen to the specifics on that. But we have begun the reversal. So the reversal is like a sucking out, like a sucking back, a receding from the dream, the illusion, in such a way that it's literally peeling back the layers to reveal slowly, slowly, little by little, the cosmic uh, new age, I suppose you could say, the the golden era, the one that we've been preparing for and waiting for, is slowly being revealed. We're slowly pulling back the covers now to reveal. So we've done all this work the to set it up, to get the stage ready, to prepare, to do the work. And many of us have been doing this for not only decades, but eons, it seems, lifetimes. So now we are at the crux. We are at this place where, if you've seen the movie Inception, it's kind of like the deeper levels of the dream have blown up. They're starting to blow up, and all those are starting to collapse as we're waking up, we're waking up, we're waking up. And it is that like reverse wave that is in effect right now. And it's just a matter of time before we really see the strong, full effects of what's occurred in the cosmos. So those of you who are the light workers, and speaking to you directly, I know that I have seen, like I've mentioned, particular events in my own life that have signaled that this has occurred. So because we are, the macrocosm is reflected in the microcosm when you're really have your goggles on and you're really like looking at your reality and taking all the symbology and happenings to heart and dissecting them in a way that they can speak to you about what's going on in the bigger picture, then maybe you have also noticed a significant event in your life that has clued you in, but has been uh, very cool and exciting to watch how this plays out. Now, I wanted to go a little bit deeper into what I think the alignment is kind of speaking to. Now, I'm not an expert on astrology, though I have studied it for many years and have a little bit of knowledge, a little bit more than a little. I feel like I'm kind of medium to uh, pre-expert. I don't have all the aspects and stuff down, but I can look at an astrology chart. So I'm looking right now at the chart for today, and basically I explained this in the last video, and I'm saying like as the sun is moving into Aquarius today, um, that is set up in this day in the 11th house. And this is really talking about the bigger picture of the community, the way that we're connected. This to me signals again the new age that we've been talking about, the age of Aquarius, this moving into the new era is really like settling in, with Mercury lined up just above that in the 10th house. Mercury is in Capricorn today, so and it's right on top of Pluto. So the communication, and this is preparing for Mercury to go direct as well. So it's been in retrograde this whole last um, month practically. So as it's stationing this week to go direct, it's planting itself. And Mercury, is the planet of communication. It's the planet of the winged message carrier. It's bringing the message. The message is being brought in the 10th house, which is a career house. It's a house of how we see ourselves in the world, how we express ourselves, how we make the connection, how we um, barter our talents, or how we share the gifts that we have. And Capricorn is a house of, going the distance, seeing the bigger picture, having steady endurance over a long period of time to make something happen. And so in this way, our communication is coming from a place where we're looking at what we really need to be doing in the long run. Like, is this the thing that I need to be doing? And starting to readjust the way that I'm speaking so that it's really coming from the place that I think this is really about each of our personal missions, what we're here to do. I'm attuning with and aligning with in this planetary procession as we go through the veil. I'm attuning to my true soul purpose and mission, and I'm ready to communicate that to you. I'm speaking it in a way that I know that we have longevity in this conversation, that this is me going forward on a new path that is, and Pluto is kind of also helping bring up, some of the stuff might be buried, like it might have been from deep down in the depths, from the underworld of self. And we may have been bringing it up this time and doing some analyzation of that as Mercury was in retrograde, but now we're really like pretty certain, no, this is the thing, and I've got to bring this up and communicate this to the world now. So as we go midheaven, Venus and Saturn are both sitting in the ninth house, ruled by Sagittarius. The ninth house is that of the higher mind, higher thinking. It's also travel and distance. There's a couple of things that come to mind to me in this house where Venus and Saturn are sitting. So Venus is the house of the feminine, of the divine feminine, and I feel like in just that tidbit alone is the divine feminine is bringing in the new knowledge. That knowledge of the divine feminine is coming in. It is taking its place. It has traveled far, so to speak. It's bringing it down, and Saturn is holding a container. It is like the boundaries for it. It is the cup in which that information flows. This can also be love. Venus is the experience of romantic love also, and maybe traveling the distance to reach that love. This is, I think, there can be some reunions taking place at this time. Saturn is the discipline also of being able to go the distance to reunite. It can also be going the distance to reunite with the love of self as well. Venus can be a self-love. And also to find the healthy boundaries for yourself that show that you love yourself, from a higher perspective, that how am I going to take care of myself in a way that is nurturing and that it is a way that supports my higher self coming in so that I can live my mission. And then we've got Mars over in kind of like a mystical house. Scorpio rules the eighth house, which is where Mars is sitting today, which is kind of like there's some action going on in the resurrection, in the mystical coming forth. This is a house that's still a little bit elusive to me, but it speaks to me of, you know, the word that comes in is the resurrection, is the renewal, and this can also be reward coming from, like other places. It can be like suddenly a money coming in from somewhere unseen, like abundance coming in from, I've kind of like had this sense that as all these famous people are passing on, that their wealth is redistributed to a different group of people. And maybe that's us, maybe that's the light workers, that somehow that money is transferred, that there's somehow like a mystical transfer and action step that happens that infuses this new reality with um, like a gift from beyond. And then Libra's holding space in the house of relationship. And then the planet of Jupiter is the other one in this alignment that is down here in the fifth house of sex and creativity, or sixth house, excuse me, um, it's now in Virgo. So Jupiter is, of course, expansion, but Virgo is all the little details. So looking at all the little details, especially in, our creativity, like what we're creating for ourselves, like really honing in on all these little details that we have that we want to express. And it's also our sexuality, our sensuality, like expanding our connection with the sensual beings that we are, with the power of our sexuality. I read like a pretty good article yesterday on if prostitutes ruled the world, and even though it wasn't very long, so it didn't go into it very deep, the essence of it was beautiful, and that was there used to be a time when the empowered sensual and sexual woman, like kind of ruled the world. She lived in the temples, and she was the one that men would come to from their wars to have their war wounds healed. That the feminine would embrace them, would nurture them, would heal them with her sexual energy, would take him into her in the temple and be the healer there. And so this kind of comes to my mind as I feel like Jupiter, on the horizon with Venus up there in Sagittarius. Jupiter's expanding the possibilities in the realm of sexuality and sensuality, and how to use these like it's the Kundalini energy, basically the creativity, the sensuality, that Jupiter's saying, hey, it's a worldwide Kundalini awakening, and it's rising up. This is the veil. This is the opening. The Kundalini is coming in. The wave is coming in. So it will start to imbue all of life with this massive awakening of creativity, of reconnection to the sensual self, of the feminine wisdom coming in. We're going to feel like speaking our truth. We're going to step into the truth of who we are. We're going to get an infusion of the resources that we need. And yeah, this is just a powerful, powerful time. So that is my part two, second summation on what's going down. And I'll tell you what, this is a month-long veil. So if you don't feel like you totally got it right now, let the first part of this alignment to be that sucking out time, where it's like continuing to just pull out of you all that old sticky, not doing it energy. It's, if you need some help with some emotional clearing or whatever, just to like kind of take off the tethers. I'm finding right now the emotional clearing work that I'm doing is like amplified, like super potent, because those things are just waiting to like jump off of you so that these gifts can come through. Okay, this is Stasia Bliss. I'm with the Ascension team. You can find me on Facebook, the Ascension team, or under Stasia Bliss, and welcome to the Ascension.